Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Chris's Collectible Corner, and for those of you who are new, thank you for coming through to tune in for this review. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different by putting the brand new Demoniacal Fit Gogeta head to head against the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball Super Broly Gogeta. But before we get into the figure itself, if you wouldn't mind, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification to be notified when new reviews are uploaded to the channel. It really helps and I appreciate the support. Alright, so here we have the two Gogetas on the rotating stand, facing off, getting ready to go into combat to see who is the better figure and which one you should buy. Now I'm going to clear this up really quickly because I know some of you are going to be like, wait, they never came out with a Super Saiyan Gogeta. The one from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie is Super Saiyan Blue. And you are 100% correct. But I felt in order to make this a bit more of a fair comparison, because the Demoniacal Fit Gogeta is Super Saiyan, I put on the Super Saiyan head sculpt that actually Demoniacal Fit made of the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta head sculpt. It is literally the exact same faceplates and hair sculpt. The only difference is the color. The expressions are the same, the shape of the hair, even the decals on the face, there's literally no difference. The only difference is, instead of it being blue, it is yellow. So I just wanted to clear that up right from the beginning so we can move on with the comparisons. Now that said, let's start the match and see who's winning in each section. Let's go. Alright, so let's start off by looking at the aesthetics and comparing them at face value. So obviously on the left we have the Demoniacal Fit, and on the right we have S.H.Figuarts. So I'm going to start with the legs going upwards. As you can see with the legs, the Demoniacal Fit has a much better shading and blue hue that kind of complements the white pants. And then the shin guards are darker blue, as well as his belt. And the excess fabric that he has from his belt is actually longer than the S.H.Figuarts. Now looking at the S.H.Figuarts one, it's white and it has like a grayish shading, but it actually kind of makes the figure look kind of dirty. And I promise, this is not that like I play with the toy and like mess with it in dirt. Like, that's how they decided to paint it. And I feel like it doesn't really go well, because when you go up to the crotch part, you can see there's a big contrast. Like the crotch is kind of like a nice egg white, and then when you get down to like the thighs and then the lower legs, it's just like, I don't know, it just looks like he was playing baseball all day. And then I think the other obvious difference here is also the crotch pieces as well as the legs. You can see that obviously the Demoniacal Fit is using the 3.0 mold, and then the Tamashii Nations one is using the 2.0 mold. And you can tell that by the crotch piece, because with the S.H.Figuarts it has those floating hip pieces, so it's kind of broken up into the centerpiece and two floating hip pieces, then the thighs attached under there, and then we have the actual like outer thigh that connects to show like the pants and whatnot. Where as a Demoniacal Fit one, we don't have all that extra plastic or clutter going on there. It's just the thighs connect directly right into it. Like, we don't need those floating plastic pieces. And now looking at the upper torso, obviously as you can see, the main difference is the 3.0 Gogeta by Demoniacal Fit is obviously thicker and more buff, where the S.H.Figuarts is using an older mold, so he looks a bit more thinner and scrawny. Now this is really preference. Some people think Gogeta should be thinner, others think it should be a bit more buff, kind of like how Demoniacal Fit has him. I will say though, I guess like looking at from like the rib cage to waist ratio, I do like the Demoniacal Fit one better, because it just feels like he has more of a wingspan, where the S.H.Figuarts just kind of looks like it's just straight. He looks a little too scrawny and I don't feel like he has enough shape. The wrist guards are pretty much the same black, so I don't really know how you can mess that up or how we're supposed to compare that. I mean, if we really want to, it looks like the Demoniacal Fit ones are a bit shorter and the S.H.Figuarts ones are a little bit longer. They're relatively the same height, but it seems like the S.H.Figuarts Gogeta's shoulders come down a little bit more, and maybe that has something to do with how they chose to do their shoulder straps for that figure as opposed to Demoniacal Fit. And then lastly, of course, looking at the head sculpts, you can obviously see like the 2.0 one is a bit dated, doesn't have as much detail in the face. They went with that shiny kind of Super Saiyan hair look, where the Demoniacal Fit has more details, has the lines above and below the eyes, as well as on the side of the eyebrows and stuff. And then the hair has a nice gradient where it goes from like a dark yellow orange into like a more pale yellow colorway, but not too pale. Like it still looks more yellow than pale yellow, if that makes any sense. So yeah, to me, those are like some of the big differences looking at them from the front. Now looking at them from the back, once again with the legs. As you can see with the S.H.Figuarts one, that paint scheme didn't carry on at all towards the back. It was literally just the front. And I guess you could say the same for the Demoniacal Fit. The Demoniacal Fit one was just a lot cleaner and didn't really stand out so much or kind of look out of place. And then obviously if you're looking at the waist area, the S.H.Figuarts one does have an advantage when it comes to articulation because it can actually kick his legs back. Where the Demoniacal Fit has that kind of diaper thing for the booty, so he can't really kick his legs back because that piece of plastic hinders it. And I think the other big difference here is the vest. It seems like with the S.H.Figuarts one, they went with one solid black plastic piece for the vest along the back, where the Demoniacal Fit kind of did something like their like with their Top Gun trunks, where they kind of segmented the pieces of the jacket, I guess to help with the articulation, or like Thompson did with Bojack Trunks when he had the jacket vest, and then those pieces were kind of cut up in the middle to help with the articulation. Also with the hair sculpts on the back, I'm noticing that the Gogeta from Demoniacal Fit, the hair kind of goes more straight up and is a bit more concise and tighter to the head, where the S.H.Figuarts one kind of flares out a little bit more. And then here we are looking at them from the profile view, and you see what I'm talking about with the legs. I feel like it's a lot more apparent here. You can see with the Demoniacal Fit, that blue shading that they have in the front kind of seamlessly blends into the back half of the legs. With the S.H.Figuarts, you could definitely see like a hard line where the shading starts and stops. And I don't know, it's not really too appealing to the eye. And then I guess looking at the muscular definition, even though the Demoniacal Fit Gogeta is a 3.0 Gogeta, his arms don't really seem that much thicker than the 2.0. Obviously the muscle definition is a little bit different. The shoulder's a bit more defined and has more striations, as well as the side of the bicep. You can see it kind of splits out, where the S.H.Figuarts one just kind of has two lines to somewhat define the tricep and the bicep. But yeah, just kind of wanted to show you guys those differences. And you can also see with the hair, like I was saying before, the Demoniacal Fit kind of shoots straight up and seems a bit more full, where the S.H.Figuarts kind of flares out and kind of goes back a little bit more. So yeah, just overall going just based off of aesthetics, once again it is personal preference, but taking the paint, the build, and just the overall look of it, I have to give a point to Demoniacal Fit for this round. Now looking at the accessories. At the top we have the S.H.Figuarts hands that came with Gogeta, and at the bottom we have the DF hands that came with Gogeta. And just off the rip, DF comes with an extra pair of hands. So we get the same hands that the S.H.Figuarts one had, but we also have a pair of extra more relaxed hands. So just off of that, that's already like a plus. Then looking at the face plates, as you can see, the S.H.Figuarts one, we only come with the smirking face and then the shouting face. With Demoniacal Fit, we have the smirking face, the teeth gritted face, and the shouting face, and you can see it a little bit better here, just a comparison between the detail and the faces. The S.H.Figuarts doesn't have an extra detail above the eyebrows or beneath the eyes. It's just the eyes and then a little bit of paintwork for the mouths. Where the Demoniacal Fits really stand out a bit more, and they just look a little more sharper and defined. And then as for the unique accessories, the S.H.Figuarts one did come with a base head for Gogeta, because we actually saw him in base form in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, but the Demoniacal Fit comes with an extra hand where you can plug in the Stardust Destroyer into his hand. So with these extra or unique accessories, I'm gonna give it a tie, but the overall accessories, once again, I have to give the Demoniacal Fit. We get one extra faceplate plus an extra pair of hands, so already, yeah, gotta give it the DF again. Alright, so now let's compare their articulation and see who can move better. So we're going to start with the brand new Demoniacal Fit, starting with the legs. So he can kick about that high, maybe a little bit higher if you push it up to the side. There you go. Same here, that leg, pretty much up to the waist. Alright. Knee bend, got those gaps there, but it is what it is. Thigh rotation, and he feels good, he feels great. Oh, of course, the splits. There you go, with the splits. So you can go about that much if I'm not pushing it. So there we go. Now let's look at S.H.F. DF, you stay right there. Stand still. Alright, Gogeta, let's see what you got. So, going forward. Alright, he can kick forward higher. Same with that leg. Alright, knee bend. We got the old like kneecaps that S.H.F has. Same here. Thigh rotation. Oh, forgot to show ankle joints too. Goes down. You can go up a little bit more, but side to side is okay. Can only go inwards, not outwards. Alright, now let's see his splits. Pretty much the same. But where he does beat the DF one is he can do that. He can kick back. DF cannot do that. And I think he has better articulation because he doesn't really have a waist. As you see, it's just a floating belt piece. And that's it. So nothing really hinders his legs from going up higher. But, alright. Now, since we already have S.H.F here, now we're going to see how his torso moves. What's his ab crunch like? Alright, he can crunch a good amount forward. And he can lean back, but he got an ugly gap right there. Alright, side to side rotation, waist rotation. There you go. 90 degrees. He can't really go much higher because of these things, but these are attached right here by the little pegs. So it actually makes it easier for you to move his arm around. You're not going to have any trouble because they're attached right to the shoulder. There you go. Butterfly joint. Right there. So he can get his arms across a pretty good amount. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, look, this guy's still a great figure. He's still a lot of fun to play with, so don't get that twisted. And then side to side with the neck. Can't look up at all because of this. But he can look down a good amount. Let me pop his faceplates back in because that's what happens if you tuck his chin in. And there you go. Well, yeah, and then obviously elbow bend, but I feel like that's nothing crazy, right? Like that's like to be expected. So, alright, so that's him. Let's put him back. Is he standing straight? Let me get the focus back. Alright. Now let's go with the upper body of DF. Alright. Let's get him in focus. Alright. Crunch. You can crunch forward a little bit. Not as much as S.H.F, so I'll give them that. He can lean back just as much, but doesn't have that ugly gap. So that's right there for him. Looking up. Yeah, can't really look up at all because he has the same issue. Looking down. He can look down a good amount. Side to side. So there we go with that. He can swivel to the side. Elbow bend. Bicep rotation. So there we go. It's pretty standard. Should be there. Then waist rotation. So that's good. And now the shoulders, I feel like, is the biggest difference between this one and that one. As you see here, if you, I don't know if you can see it in the gap over there. Hold on. See, like he doesn't have the black thing sticking out because there's an extra piece of plastic on this one. So when you move the shoulder, it kind of doesn't break the aesthetics. See? Right there. But it does make his shoulders a bit more cumbersome to move around. You have to be a lot more deliberate with them, because if you saw my review on this guy, these pieces did pop off. So you just gotta be careful. So it still moves, works just right, and you don't get that gap there where you see the skin because it's covered by the black. But, you know, you just have to be a little bit more deliberate. You can't be as loosey-goosey as this one. So, yeah. And then butterfly joint doesn't really do much. That's as far as he can get. Yeah. So, there you go. Alright, so articulation is pretty similar, but I will have to say, I have to give it to SHF on this one because he can get his arms right across at the butterfly joint, and he has better ab crunch going forward, and the legs he can kick back. So, plus his shoulders are easier to move, just because of how they designed it. SHF is taking it for articulation. Alright guys, so there you have it, and obviously we have a clear winner if you're looking at the rotating stand. I mean, just breaking everything down, I think aesthetically, from a visual standpoint, the Demoniacal Fit Gogeta looks better. He's an updated model. He comes with more accessories, plus the Stardust Destroyer, and an extra facial expression. Now, the S.H.Figuarts did beat it in articulation, but it wasn't really by much. So if you were wondering if you should keep your old Gogeta, or get the new one, or if you don't have a Gogeta at all, which one you should get, I would definitely pick up the Demoniacal Fit one. I mean, I think the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta that S.H.Figuarts released, I think I was checking online, is reselling for like $90 to $125. Definitely not worth paying that price when you can get this Demoniacal Fit one for 50 bucks. So I would definitely pick this one up over that one. Now, is the S.H.Figuarts one a bad one? No, it's actually one of my favorite figures. I like that figure a lot, but obviously we've come a long way, and Gogeta's long overdue for an update. So I'm glad we got it from Demoniacal Fit, and it's also crazy that we've never gotten a Super Saiyan Gogeta from the official company, which is crazy because that's how he made his first appearance. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you guys like this comparison video? This is my first time doing this versus one where I'm comparing a newer figure to an older figure. Do you guys like this style? Do you guys not? Let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll continue doing more of these in the future. With that said, I hope you guys found this review informative. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification to be notified when new reviews are uploaded to the channel. Thank you for stopping by my corner of the internet, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.